I actually prefer the new artwork. Sorry, Pakula. Actually like the new ones that we have in the board. It seems fine, right? It's got Force and a blue card. It's got a Howling Mine. Speaking of red-black reanimator. Speaking of red-black reanimator. It's a good thing. It's a good thing we have Force Will to keep these degenerate decks in check. Don't you agree, chat? Don't you agree? Alright, we're gonna cast this Ponder. Dig for a Daze or a Force here. They actually only put Ensnare in their bin here, so I think we keep these, right? Yeah, I think we just keep these. I'm gonna go turn my light on really quick so I'm not sitting here in the dark. Take a second to warm up. I think the Chain of Vapor is fine because they're just getting an Ensnare in here, right? I mean, heck, even this Teferi is mostly okay, right? Like it's a 3/7. It's a flashback Faithless Looting? Sure. How are the kitties? They're probably going to be home for one more day. We'll see. We'll see. I got you extras. I got you. I think I just cast Teferi, right? Tuck that one back where it came from. Thank you. Alright. Enjoy your lands, opponent. You won't have them. They're one time. Your lands are now one-time use. Your lands are now one-time use. This is just good, clean, honest Legacy the Gathering here, chat. Good, clean, honest Legacy. Just like we drew it up, right? Just... Oh yeah, sure. Why not? Why not a Jace the Mind Sculptor? You know, get in here, Jace. We appreciate you. Oh yeah. Cast him a Jace the Mind Sculptor. Are we done here yet? Are we done here? What are we doing with ourselves? And I know what some people out there are thinking right now. They're like, but Jeff. You could fate seal your opponent. But people that are talking about fate sealing my opponent right now, do you understand that I could also be drawing cards? I feel like you don't appreciate the fact. People that want to fate seal my opponent don't understand that I can be drawing cards. You didn't start with Vintage. I thought someone threw you a list. They did, Nivik, but Vintage has to follow the rules just like everything else. They don't need the minimum amount. It has to get to the top of the queue. So Flusterstorms and Surgicals definitely come in here. This is probably an Ensnaring Bridge matchup, huh? It's probably great. It actually seems like a lot of our cards are pretty good here. Is this plan actually not good enough here? Like their deck, and this is why I kind of liked this plan. I'm taking minimum donations for Vintage, but I still don't plan to play that many leagues per week. Like one to two tops. Your first couple gave me a good enough test run that I think it's okay to do a couple per week. Can they kill us through Stasis? I guess that's a fair point. Well, they can put Tidespout Tyrant into play, right? That's a reason. That's a reason to. If I can keep them off Tidespout Tyrant, I'm actually not sure. I feel like the Stasises aren't good enough here. We have Teferi and Jace to win the game. What do you mean, what's the plan to win? We have Teferi and Jace. I could probably trim some of these As Foretold if I'm trimming Stasis and bring in these Meddling Mages. That's probably fine. Seems fine. I don't think Ethersworn Canonist is good enough against them. Your win condition is removing your opponent's will to live. The win condition is removing your opponent's will to live. This ain't good enough. This seems fine, right? I mean, most of our hands are soft to fast reanimation hands, right? And like, this hand's pretty good against discard. It's got 2 pieces of disruption, and it's got cantrips to find an Ensnaring Bridge or a Chain of Vapor. Yeah, I think we're actually pretty well set up against like this turn 1 discard spell with this hand. I guess I don't know what they're gonna take. So I assume they're gonna take, but what they take is definitely gonna be contextual based on the rest of their hand. Okay, so since they took the Flusterstorm, they could take Ponder or Daze here. I don't think they're taking Brainstorm because of the way my lands are. Interesting. Okay. See, that was a good one for them to not know that we have coming. Go ahead and cast this Ponder. We're looking for bridges or interaction. Is this Daze good enough? They left us. No, they left us the other day, so that's no matter. Yeah, I'm just gonna shuffle these, right? Because like I already have a chain. That's pretty good. I'm gonna play this so I can hard cast a Daze for 2 mana without having to discard. Entomb, sure. Yep. We're gonna be hard pressed to punch through what they have going on here. Unless I just pass the turn here. I'm passing the turn is great. Alright, pick that asshole back up. Please and thank you. Jace might have the power to like, kind of unsummon and go the distance here. So we're 10 out of 10 just gonna go fetch island, play Tomb, Brainstorm. I don't know, I think Humility is probably similar to Ensnaring Bridge, and Ensnaring Bridge is probably easier to get into play. Maybe we have maybe we can't empty our hand quite fast enough to make Ensnaring Bridge worthwhile. I think Manaless Dredge is really bad. It's like LED Dredge I'm almost okay with, but like Manaless Dredge is pretty exceptionally terrible. Whoa! Hey now! What are you, are we gonna beat the Gristlebrand? God, did we break Legacy, chat? Have we taken Legacy and broken it asunder? And by that I mean, we're just running ridiculously fucking hot, right? That's just like, that's absurd. Is that even, how is that even reasonable? Well, now I just double surgical them in response, right? Like not, do I double surgical in response or do I should double surgical in response here, right? Just like send a message. So I'm actually going to play kind of a mind game here. I'm going to surgical. They have Grim Lavamancer in their hand. That's interesting. That's interesting. Okay. Did they board down to 2 Gristlebrands? Cute. All right. So they boarded down to 2 Gristlebrands. I think I'm going to Daze. Now that I know their hand, I think I'm going to Daze this Duress. And then if they pay it, I'll surgical them again. And if they don't pay it, we can make a decision from there. I don't really care about their deck. I guess they can... No, they already played a land, right? Oh, they can Faithless Looting into a fatty, but they can't reanimate it because they don't have... I can just take a quick mental note here. Like, there's nothing, like, they have an archetype of endurance, which would be annoying, and tight spout tyrant, but the rest of this is fine. Yeah, they have to Petal and Fatty and 2 cards to put something into play. And even then, we just, like Jace, pick your shit up. They need to hit, like, exactly archetype. And, like, here, even if they go Grim Lavamancer, I just, like, Jace, unsummon your Grim Lavamancer, play Meddling Mage on Grim Lavamancer. Nice. Congrats, Teferi. When I brought in 2 copies of Meddling Mage, Grim Lavamancer was not the card I was expecting to name with it. No, I think outside of Archetype Endurance, even Archetype of Endurance, we really kind of have covered, right? They need to get Archetype of Endurance, and they need to get, what's it called? They need to get Tight Spout Tyrant together, because, like, this locks up Archetype, this locks up Tide Spout in a way. That's unfortunate. I guess the way the sequencing lined up, maybe I should have left that bridge somewhere else. Oh, they're gonna reanimate the Grim Lavamancer. Okay, that makes sense. Alright, I guess I'm gonna Fate Seal myself here. Brainstorm on the bottom. Nope, I'll keep that right there. What a weird game. We're looking for a Teferi, right? It's the droid we're looking for so we can tuck this nerd. Oh, was I supposed to just unsummon him? Maybe I was just supposed to unsummon this because the Lavamancer was still in play. Yeah, that was all fast and loose. Alright, let's start with this. Let's see where we get. Double Daze. Man, we're gonna lose this game. JK, lol. Yeah, I should have unsummoned this. And then I have my Meddling Mage in place still. Mistakes were made. Okay. So if I would have gotten that attack in, they wouldn't have been able to reanimate this. So there were a couple of cards there. Yeah, I guess Stasis is pretty good in a lot of these situations, and maybe I should leave it in my deck. I don't quite know what we're doing. Can't target your archetype, but we can sure as shit target Animated. Get that out of here. I think we're just gonna die to this Grim Lavamancer though. What a weird game. Weird game that I definitely made a bunch of mistakes in. They named Stasis with the mage. I think I'm happy with how I sideboarded. Do I want the Stasis and the Howling Mines? I don't think so. I'm gonna trim this. I'm gonna leave a couple copies of Stasis, and I think it's probably fine. Like, I have Jace and Teferi to fuel it, and I don't necessarily need Howling Mine. They have one Lava Man in their deck. Meddling Mage doesn't actually seem like it's that good. The more I think about it, they have so many different reanimate spells. I'm gonna do this. Nah, I think Petal's good, especially on the play. Just like ramp up into my stuff. I think the biggest mistake that game, I made a couple of small sequencing mistakes, and the biggest one was not unsummoning the Grim Lavamancer with the turn my Jace was on 2 and they animated dead it. There was no reason not to do that. Because my Meddling Mage was still on Grim Lavamancer, then I would have had a Jace on 1 and they'd have a Grim Lavamancer in their hand that they couldn't do anything with. Because Meddling Mage was on it. Is As Foretold too slow against this deck? So As Foretold's just like worse when we're not all in on the Stasis plan, and maybe with 3 of them it's okay. I don't know. I just have to trim something. So like, if I want to keep As Foretold in my deck, like what am I cutting for it is basically what it comes down to, and I don't think I have a good answer to that. Force plus Chain of Vapor. Yeah, I guess I keep this. The actual answer is, I don't know. This is a pile of magic cards and we're just trying to fumble our way through. There's one Grim Lavamancer in their deck. It seems very good against us too. We're not playing Tin Wish this evening. We played a League of it a couple of nights ago. It's on my YouTube channel. You can find the archive there. And what'd they keep? Sure. For those of you just joining us, the opponent's playing Red-Black Reanimator. They just have one Grim Lavamancer in their deck. They've drawn both of these post-board games that I fucked up against to lose to. Not quite sure what we're doing here. I've played a lot of really painful decks on Magic Online, so like... This thing triggers even when it's untapped. That's funny. Do I even want to like play the Stasis here? I'm not sure that I do, right? I'm pretty sure I want to just wait like until I need to do something, because I kind of want to not do that until I have a Teferi or a Jace going. I don't know what EILO stands for. You missed my donation from earlier. It's my first time donating enough for a deck, so I don't know if I did it right. When... I am not going to play Four Horsemen. If you would like for me to refund your donation, I'm happy to do that. This is just a friendly reminder that I reserve the right to refuse any donation deck, and that's a deck that involves too much clicking that I'm not going to do. It's just like, it is annoying to the point where it's not fun to stream. It's not good content. So I'm happy to send that money back, or you're welcome to put it towards something else. It's just I have to strike a balance between like decks that are going to be frustrating to play and like awkward to watch and like being entertaining. I think there's a reason we don't use ELO to measure things in games like Magic that have variance by design. So like I think measuring ELO is kind of silly. There's a reason why we moved away from that and from using official metrics. No, not really. Blue-Black Reanimator is not really a deck anymore because, what's the word that I'm searching for? People, what's the word? My words are failing me. It's not really a deck because it's a turn and a half, it's like half a turn too slow against most Deathrite Shaman decks. And, it is just worse than this Red-Black Reanimator deck by and large because of it. No, Battle of Wits decks tend to make Magic Online run too slowly. Good Battle of Wits decks have a lot of Tudor style effects in them, so that causes them to have to search their deck a lot, and Magic Online opening a 200 plus card deck on screen tends to make the client run very slowly. Yeah, the Four Horsemen is banned from tournament play because it is stalling the way it plays Magic. You can't iterate your loop to the point where you can describe what it's going to look like at the end. So by definition of stalling in Magic, it's stalling. All right, so just need one more land to play this Teferi, and then we can get Teferi plus Stasis going here. It's a nice card to finally draw. Perfect. All right, so I'm going to go I'm going to put Forsaken City and Stasis on top of my deck here. And then I'm going to go ahead and cast this Teferi and plus him. Oh, I should have put the Stasis 2 cards down because I'm going to redraw it here. That was a mistake. I wanted to protect the Stasis from a discard spell, so I should have put it 2 cards down. Can you whisper me that deck list in private, Dawncaster, so I can take a look at it later? I try not to look at deck lists midstream. If that some days I just get so many deck lists that would be the only thing I'd be doing is looking at a deck list. So during the end step here, I'm gonna go ahead and unsummon this Grimlavamancer, I think. Oh, this lets them sack a land to bounce the Teferi. I think I'm okay with that, though. Nah, I'm just gonna go ahead and pass here. It's fine. We'll just, like, Stasis to lock them next turn. This should be on top of my deck right now. I misstacked that Brainstorm. I wasn't thinking about the fact that this would be drawing us a card. Yeah, between the Daze and the Flusterstorm, I can probably protect the Stasis, but it was definitely a mistake to, like, leave it in a position that I need to protect it. You should read my article here on Black-Green and the deck list there. You can also watch my videos on my YouTube channel. We played the deck list a lot in May. They could have enough discard spells to make this awkward here. My misstacking here could actually lose us the game now. Hopefully it's just flashback Faithless Looting. Huh. I think that's fine. I think everything I want to do from here on out needs to just be to protect the Stasis. Because once I get the Stasis set up, they shouldn't be able to win. Sweet. Surgicaling the Tidespout Tyrant will be very good. It's one of their better cards against us, so being able to, them exposing that to Surgical is very, very good for us. This just says skip the untap step, right? Yeah, sweet. So nothing untaps, which is quite excellent. Play this other Forsaken City out. Cast Stasis. Plasma Teferi. Alright, I think we're like looking to be like a lock at this point. We've got piles of protection, we've got Teferi, we've got Stasis. So Teferi not only untaps our lands, but he's also a Howling Mine style effect for the Forsaken City too, so we can untap Forsaken Cities as well every turn and not feel bad about it. You just have so much disruption at this point. Ensnaring Bridge obviously not very good against their little creatures, but it's like better against their bigger creatures. Yeah, the Dark Confidant version of Black-Green that we played was a viewer-submitted deck list. Alright, well, to set the bar low, we are doing better than when we played Mono Blue Stasis. Is that a weird concession? Like, they probably can't win the game. We'll probably do Modern tomorrow. I believe after I clear out these Legacy decks. Modern, I've got 4 Modern decks above 50 now at this point with another bump I just got. So yeah. Yeah, we'll probably be on Modern for Wednesday, Thursday, maybe even Friday as well, depending on how things go. Yeah, Stasis is an interesting card. Teferi Stasis actually feels really powerful. Like, the fact that this deck just, like, wants to play Daze and top of Force is, like, pretty great. It's almost certainly isn't good, but it's doing something kind of sweet. Yeah, seems fine, right? There we go. Thank you, Faithless Looting. Is Twitch having issues? It looks like a bunch of people are missing their sub icons off and on. I think Twitch might be having issues at the moment. Like, Faithless Looting on my end didn't have a sub icon for one of their messages, and then it did. Wonder if Twitch is having hang-ups. bit.ly/donation queue, all lowercase. Yeah, there you go. Thank you, Population Zero, for providing the bit.ly. So I'm just going to ponder on one here, right? We're looking for a Forsaken City, probably. Yeah, I'm not really looking for any of these cards. I guess I kind of want the land. I really wouldn't mind taking land ponder here, huh? Yeah, I'm gonna stack this like this. And this is important that I left the ponder on top of my deck, because this way my opponent can't take it with a discard spell. Animinian, thank you very much for the 5-month resubscription. I do appreciate that. Welcome back. Thank you for the continued support. This does mean I'm not playing As Foretold on 2, but I think that's fine. I think I'm just going to go crack, after we draw that ponder, we'll go crack fetch land for Tundra, and then cast ponder. It depends a little bit on what they do, but by and large that seems fine. I don't know what the June 18th thing is. Justin is apparently Hoaglandia is collaborating, hopefully not against me, but we'll see. We'll see. Remains to be seen. No, June 18th has nothing to do with me. It's as far as I can tell, it is a random day that Justin the Enabler picked out. The only correlation to anything that I can think of is that it's the day after Father's Day, but that's probably has nothing to do with it. I don't think I want to play As Foretold on 2. I think I just want to set up the Stasis. I guess I want to play As Foretold before I set up the Stasis, though, huh? So maybe I should just do that. Bloodstained Mire, sure. Yeah, maybe I was supposed to shuffle that ponder and just plan to play the As Foretold on 2. Combined with the amount of money. Look, for the right amount of money, I'll do almost anything. Most of the decks I reject, I'm just... Is this a different person or the same person? It's a different person playing Red-Black Reanimator, apparently. Alright. So long, Force of Will, my old friend. Okay, now we're definitely fetch ponder next turn, so we can try and find some way to interact with their stuff here, ideally. You see, I'm really glad I put 2 surgicals in my sideboard, I guess. I almost put 2 containment priests in. I kind of wish I would have done that now. Seems like only yesterday when you stopped my memes from being only dreams. Thank you for the 7-month resubscription, regular size. Just to get the big sub at that. Be sure to let me know in a private message what you want your tier 3 deck for the month to be. I appreciate that very large level of support. Okay, so that's the Forsaken City. So I kind of want that, right? I have to keep all these cards though, but I knew the very top card of my deck though, Tom. I guess it's worth in case I want the other 2, but I kind of didn't. I knew I didn't want the top card of my deck. But you might be right still. I'm supposed to just like look at the other 2 and then shuffle. Because like this kind of sucks, right? Because like I want the Forsaken City, but I really don't want this Tomb or this other Stasis. I think I'm supposed to any order shuffle these. Like Jace and Teferi are both like really good draws too here. That's a mediocre draw. I did not know there was a species of tree called Hoaglandia. I feel like I'm obligated to Google image search this now. I like when I search Hooglandia here and click on images, there's links to my deck images. I like that that's a thing, that you search that and you get my Twitch images and stuff. That's a weird looking tree. It's a weird looking tree. I think I'm supposed to just drop this As Foretold into play here. It's like getting the Howling Mine going seems a little bit dangerous because like my opponent obviously has not a lot going on. I think I'm just casting this. Make the tree into a sub-icon. So we're waiting on a Teferi or a Forsaken City at this point. Not that Stasis really accomplishes anything at the moment. It's not like they have anything going on. Yep. Should I cast it using this? Yeah, it seems fine. Alright, there's a Forsaken City. So I'm gonna throw this back. And I'm gonna go ahead and... I guess I want to crack my fetch this turn. There's no reason to play the Stasis outright. If money with the 5-month resubscription. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thank you for the continued support. Am I supposed to play this out to play around a Cabal Therapy? I guess that card's not that common out of their deck. I appreciate the 5 months of money. Welcome back. Thank you for the continued support. Yeah, me too, Prototype. Like, what's the deal? What's going on over there? Guess this for mana. I think I'm just supposed to like find a Teferi or a Jace here at this point. Chain's also really good. Just gonna go ahead and put this into play for now, I think. Yeah, I think we're far enough ahead that we should just drop the Stasis. I agree with that. This Daze isn't really going to do anything at this point, so... We have As Foretold going, we have Howling Mine going, we might as well just like... Maybe I should have Brainstormed using this, but that's probably loose. Alright, so I'm going to auto-yield to these two. Pitch this Daze. Stasis. Oh, fetch line's not bad. I'm gonna cast this with that just in case we draw a Jace. We drew Teferi instead. It's a touch awkward. I guess it's not even awkward, right? Because he just like lets us do our thing. Play the hero of Dominaria. Because you won't be able to... You mean I won't be able to tap it? Yeah, I'm aware. I'm aware. At this point, it doesn't really matter. We do have Moes in the Midwest. I'm not a big fan. I think... I put Moes at, like, the bottom of the Tex-Mex hierarchy, actually. I think it's a little bit worse than Qdoba. It's, like, fine, but it's not that good. It's not that great. I think Chipotle is definitely the highest quality of them. Yes, Hat Crab Zombie. Those are... I like how you know, Zach. You knew the answer to that question. You knew the answer to that question before you asked it. Sure. Pick your favorite. You got a Gristlebrand. A lot of good he's gonna do for you. I would tune in if Jeff held a stream in which he ranked various food establishments against each other. What is the Stasis? The Stasis art is A+. Love the Stasis art. I agree. The only card we're like really afraid of here is Tide Spout Tyrant, right? Which is what they're getting here. Usually they have one of those in their main deck. Yeah, Tide Spout Tyrant's a little bit scary. Are they not playing Faithless Looting? Are they playing Mono Black? Looks like they might be playing Mono Black. Oh, wait, I can respond to this, right? Yep. I guess this lets them pick my Teferi up as well, but I think I'm okay with that. Is that the first time Chain of Vapor has been used as intended in Legacy? I think that's like the first time in the history of Legacy that card's ever been used as intended, right? I'm really confused as to what they're doing, because the Animate Dead's still in their hand, right? So they could put Tide Spout Tyrant into play here. They could have, like, Animated Dead the Tide Spout Tyrant and, like, double pedal to make me pick my shit up. Chain of Vapors, usually a Storm deck casts it at end of turn to just, like, bounce a hate piece. Usually the rest of the text on it is mostly irrelevant. Okay. Because the card has twice as much text on it. I meant the part where people, like, sacrifice lands and have some back and forth. Storm is 13, right? Ah, yeah, sure. Pick the Stasis up. You know, whatevs. What a weird game of Magic. You said that about all three of them so far? How upset would you be if they... I'd be impressed, if we're being honest. They have enough mana for tendrils, too. They get, like, double tendrils us. Alright, Teferi down. Teferi down. I assume they're going to reanimate something else here. They're down enough time on clock here that I'm going to make them play this out, I think. Also, we just, like, have draws. Yeah, you can, but, like, that's a lot of work to generate Infinite Storm. If you can get a giant thing into play in Legacy, you might as well just kill them. Oh no! Not all my copies of Stasis, opponent. I like my copies of Stasis. Yeah, I have a few of Mac Weldon's things. I have a couple of their polos and a couple of their t-shirts. I had their clothing before I added them as a banner. I don't add banners for things that I haven't personally used or haven't done a good deal of research on. Give that person a break. They're working way too hard on something that was a joke. They've now used 11 minutes in this game. It's been a longer game. We used 5.5 minutes, which is a longer game for me. Usually I play pretty quickly. Yeah, I'm just burning their clock. They're taking forever. If they take this long in all 3 games, they'll lose the game to not having enough time. So, you know, let them do their thing. They're showing me more cards. Like, they confirmed that they're the Cabal Therapy build and not some other build. Yeah, like, it's funny, of all the things that look kind of sweet about Arena, the thing I'm kind of most excited about is the fact that, like, they're re-examining how they manage the clock in the game. I'm just gonna cast both my spells, so they have to respond to both of them. Just, like, take another 10 seconds off their clock. Or 30 seconds if they're taking forever. MTG Mike, I'm doing very well. How are you? Kids are both still sick, but I'm doing well. I think the single worst thing about daycare is the fact that you have to pay for it even when your children can't go. It's probably the single worst thing about it. Like, I understand why it's expensive, but the fact that, like, you have to pay for it when they're sick is kind of obnoxious. Alright, we're dead. As Foretold was kind of impressive there. That sounds very terrible. So I want Flusterstorms and Surgicals. Is that an Ensnaring Bridge matchup? It might be an Ensnaring Bridge matchup. I brought Ensnaring Bridge in when we just played this matchup a second ago, but the more I think about it, the more I'm not sure if that's right. Yeah, correct. Yeah, you can't send your kids while they're sick. Yeah, I mean, like, I feel like we're not beating a Tight Spout Tyrant anyways, though, is the thing. So, like, I just need to keep Tight Spout Tyrant off the table. I'm gonna trim one of these, so we have a lot of time to find it when it's good. I don't really want to cut any of these. Pretty sure this is good. These Daze is not good enough, maybe. Seems weird to say, but the soft counters actually seem like they're kind of bad here. I'm gonna do that. Run it. I think so. Like, locking them off their mana is okay. Maybe I just want 2 and I'll keep a 3rd. I don't know, the As Foretold gets pretty bad without the Stasis, though. Like, the Stasis pseudo-locks them some of the time. Like, especially if we're able to disrupt them a little bit. And, like, their deck is really low on mana, total mana sources. So, like, if we're able to disrupt them a little bit, and then we put a Stasis down, they're not able to have more mana to, like, go off again. I mean, this is our second match, and we've played against Black-Red Reanimator twice. The actual answer is I don't know. In fact, if we were 4 matches in, my answer would probably still be I don't know. I don't think Ethersworn Canonist or Meddling Mage are very good here. I think the opponent's deck has a variety of things that I need to name. If I had, like, Vendilion Clique or Containment Priest, I would agree with you, but I think, like, the 2 hate bears that I have, or neither of them are good in this matchup. Hand's decent. Would love to draw an Ancient Tomb so we can stick Teferi on turn 3. Maybe. It depends on what the situation looks like what my tools are. The problem with not surgicaling the Gristlebrand, if they try to reanimate Gristlebrand, is that they're going to draw enough cards that they're going to take the surgical out of your hand. I think Force of Will is necessary for Legacy, just like Thoughtseize is necessary for Modern. I actually think Thoughtseize in Modern is more obnoxious than Force of Will in Legacy, but to, like, remove either of those cards from either of the respective formats, you would need to ban a significant amount of the degenerate things, and people kind of like doing the degenerate things, so maybe it's just fine enough to leave alone. So for those that are new to Legacy, or you're familiar with Legacy and you just aren't familiar with, like, tier 8 shit cards, Forsaken City's a card that combos with Stasis because you can untap it every turn by exiling a card from your hand. So you pair it with something like lets you draw extra cards, and then you're able to keep them locked with Stasis. I don't think I just slam Stasis here because I just, like, don't have any way to gain advantage. I need a Planeswalker in play. I need a Howling Mine. I need an As Foretold, some way to generate advantage. Because if I'm just, like, sitting there pitching a card to Forsaken City every turn, I don't actually get anywhere. Yeah, that's exactly what it does. But, like in reality, like, if you're talking about, like, things that are good game design and create, like, quality gameplay, like, those decks don't do that, right? Like, they're kind of sweet to spin the wheel on stream and stuff, but, like, from a interactive, like, play a quality game of Magic standpoint, the decks that, like, Force of Will keeps in check, by and large, are, like, shitty decks. Like, decks that you wouldn't, like, think, like, I wouldn't sit down with my kids and teach them how to play Magic with this, because it's not a good game, right? I don't even think that's true. I think the people that want to put Force of Will and Wasteland into Modern, I think you people are silly. I think if you want Modern to be less degenerate, they should just manage the format with the ban list that they're allowed to have. It's okay to ban Magic cards. Not every card that's ever been printed needs to be legal in every single format. don't have enough going on here. And again, like, the good, it's funny too that people like wave the Force of Will flag, because it's not Force of Will that keeps the good combo decks in check. The only decks in Legacy that Force of Will actually keeps in check are decks that are shit tier that lose to themselves half the time anyways. Decks like Goblin Charbelcher and Oops All Spells and Spanish Inquisition. You know, the decks I love playing on stream, like those decks actually aren't very good. Because not only do they lose to Forceful, but they lose to themselves. The reasonable combo decks in Legacy, like Sneak and Show, and Red-Black Reanimator, and Storm to a degree, I don't think that deck's very good by and large. But like, those decks, they don't give a shit about 1 or 2 copies of Force of Will. It's a critical mass of disruption that beats the actual good decks. Correct, yeah, I agree with you, Bruno. I agree with that assessment completely. Force of Will would not suddenly help control decks in Modern. It wouldn't do that. Isn't just trash. And like, again, like, those decks are sweet. I think they're fun to play. I spend a lot of time playing them on stream because I think it's funny to like blast off every once in a while. But like, again, as far as like from a game design standpoint, I think it's pretty easy to say like these decks objectively don't create what I would consider good games of Magic. Rookie with the $30 donation. Thank you for the generous support. Let's dredge some nerds. 10 out of 10. I'll get that added later tonight. Pretty sure I just wanted Daze, Deathrite Shaman. I'm not even sure that Storm would want to play Force of Will in Modern. I'm not familiar with their blue count offhand, but in addition to their blue count being a little bit medium, I think they are kind of a critical mass deck. So like 2 for 1ing your opponent with Storm doesn't seem particularly ideal a lot of the time. By and large, control decks are very bad in Modern. Jeskai control is like close to reasonable, and the only reason that deck is close to reasonable is because it can be aggressive when it needs to be aggressive. Daze your turn 1 play, cast Howling Mine. Your move, Yugi boy. This is all I got. This is about to be an abrupt decay rate. That's pretty far down in the queue, Gator. I just play them in order. Or is it mono red? It's probably going to be a little while before we get to mono red. Mono red's at about 18 points right now, it looks. Most of the decks I've been playing these days are getting to the 45 to 50 point range before I can play them. Just not enough hours in the day. Don't daze me, bro. They probably have a force, and if they force, we're going to force back here, obviously. It's a real good Daze. It's an okay draw for later. I'm going to go ahead and play this island and pass the turn. Probably setting up to pitch this Chain of Vapor to a Force of Will here at some point. Like right now. I just want to do this. Using Forsaken today to just cast a regular spell is usually a pretty bad idea. It's going to be like a Flusterstorm or a Daze. Main deck Pyroblast maybe. Okay. If they've played a lot of shit tier Legacy decks, this Forsaken City is going to send up a red flag and they should know what we're doing at this point. So hopefully we untap and draw a land and get to play this Jace. We're not necessarily dead. We have a Jace of our own and we're on 3 lands. If I didn't have this Jace of my own in my hand, I'd say that for sure. No, we died Bionic. Our card just didn't line up well. I think our cards lined up well, pretty well in the first match that we played. I'd be surprised if that's a good matchup for what we're doing. I think we got pretty fortunate. Well, this doesn't feel good, but it's definitely the line. Well, that's vomit-inducing. Just gonna press my auto pass key. If my Jace is dead, he's dead. The Snapcaster's annoying because it applies pressure to our Jace the Mind Sculptor. I think I'm going to Brainstorm with this Jace before I crack the fetch land, just because I only know 1 card on top of my deck and I want to shuffle out for a Brainstorm, I think. I think I want to untap a Forsaken City here. There's a deck list on your screen. If you're on mobile, you can type !deck to get a link to a deck list. Please let me know if you still have questions after looking at the deck list, but I'd encourage you to help yourself a little bit. Thank you for the bits, Jeremy. Welcome. It's pretty poop soupy. I really wish more streamers would use the Stream Decker tool. It's very convenient, lets people answer questions like that themselves. I know it's not very popular, so a lot of people aren't used to us seeing it. I don't think Caleb or Numat use it. Does Gabby use it? I can't remember last time I saw her playing Constructed, so I haven't checked. If only Scred was in the queue. Gracie L, thanks for the 2 months. Scred is... That's a legal deck, I guess. If they have a Culligan's Command tier, I'm going to concede. Because we're not beating their Jace if they take our Jace off the table. Does she do it? That's good. That's good. It's a good tool. It's a very good tool. It's good for their viewers. Alright. Abrupt Decay might be a little bit annoying to play through. I kind of feel like I'm on the click submit plan here. Kind of feel like I'm on the click submit plan here. Maybe the Flusterstorms are okay. Maybe the Flusterstorms are okay. Yep, all Legacy this evening. We're playing the Stasis deck, and then we're going to play some Maverick and some Miracles. Alright, good. If it becomes the norm, people will be more used to seeing it, and we'll have less questions. Beast Rule. Surgical's pretty bad. Surgical's pretty bad. They have a very minimal amount of Snapcaster Mages and other things like that. I'd rather just have Flusterstorm. We're not blanking those cards, though, Rick. Like... I'm not turning those cards off. The only time it makes sense to like blank cards like that is when you can actually blank them. And if I can't board out all my targets for them, it doesn't make sense to board out some of them. Someone's actually working on that for MTG Arena. It looks really sweet. Noxious was streaming Arena earlier today and had it up there. It was quite excellent. It was just like the Hearthstone overlays where you can mouse over the cards in the game board. It really like shows that Wizards doesn't get where they need to be directing their development efforts, because they should be funding stuff like that. They shouldn't be relying on fans to make it. Meddling Mage can name decay. Yeah, but it just gets tagged by like their call against commands and shit like that. And they might leave creature removal in too, so. How'd the gauntlets go? We 5-2'd with Redlings and we 2-3'd with Empress. I fucked up one of the Empress matches though. Based on the literacy level of Twitch, I'm not sure they'll be able to read the cards even if they can see them. Same doesn't really do anything. Turn 2 As Foretold. Let's do it. Let's do it. Maybe I'm supposed to just like swap some of the Dazes for like Flusterstorms. I think the Forces are good because I need to stop their Planeswalkers. Yeah, I just said that, Hat Crab Zombie. Noxious had it in his stream. I was watching that earlier today. Looked great. Yep. Ah, you've played right into my hand, opponent. Now you won't have that for my Teferi. Is that something someone at Twitch is working on? Any idea if anybody is going to work on something like that for Magic Online? Or is this just like the redheaded stepchild? We're not going to talk about this one anymore. No, my tweet quite literally said I'm going to stream this evening. I'm just not streaming during the day. He did it in his free time. That's sad. Wizards of the Coast needs to hire him to do it for their actual client. It's sad. It's sad when Fisher Price Magic gets more attention than like the actual Magic that we get to play here. It's super fucking greedy to just like discard the Ancient Tomb, right? I'm gonna discard the Ancient Tomb. Fuck it. Just draw land. God, I'm so good at this game. Hope you get to stop it. There's not Daze in their 4-color deck. And we couldn't pay for Spell Pierce anyways. And that's why I have an extra idiot for when they snap. Maybe I'm supposed to tuck this. I don't know. Tucking that seems bad in the face of Bolt. This gives them... They can snap Pyroblast regardless next turn, though. Just here to remind you that I hate you. I think it's right. I think there's a good chance we get, like, Snap Blasted here. Jace the Mind Sculptor resolves. Alright. Here's hoping we find a Stasis next turn, chat. Here's hoping we get, what, 5 looks at a Stasis? 4 looks at a Stasis to let us tuck the Jace the Mind Sculptor. They draw Pyroblast here. Alright, that's right, Shaman, sure. Alright, that's decent too. So everybody says. I just put these 2 back, right? I think I just draw with this Teferi. Think I'm supposed to draw with the Teferi. Really don't want them to untap. They're gonna get to untap, chat. It's very sad. My deck was like, hey, you really wanted to draw that land. How about 3 more in your next 4 draws? How's that feel, Hogland? You like how that tastes? You like how that tastes? I'm really surprised we haven't got Snap Blasted yet. It's pretty exceptionally lucky. Just casually saw 7 cards this turn. Now they can take my Teferi. I'm going to concede when they kill my other Teferi here. This card's just like good in every format, isn't it? Am I supposed to shove a couple copies of this into Miracles? We have 4 copies of Stasis. We don't need back to basics. Is this card just secretly great? I think this card is just actually great everywhere. Anul Man with the 4-month resubscription. Thank you very much. I do appreciate that. Welcome, welcome, welcome back. Well, that's unfortunate. Come on. Hit 1 shot at Stasis now. Only 1. I guess if I draw a cantrip. Yes! Yes! Oh, God. Don't force me. 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 Stop it. Stop it! Why do you hate fun, opponent? Why are you the enemy of fun? Why are you the enemy of fun, opponent? Hey, KM Lee. Thank you for the 2-month resubscription. I do appreciate that. Welcome, welcome, welcome back. Thank you for the continued support. We are on track for that 1-3. One match win better than the mono blue Stasis. I don't know. I might need a legacy hiatus again. Or maybe I'm going to stop accepting fair legacy decks. Let's just play through these fair decks in the queue. Playing fair Magic and legacy is pretty frustrating. Maybe we'll just stick to degeneracy moving forward. Yeah. There's a lot of combo decks in the queue. I think I'm going to start rejecting fair legacy decks more aggressively. They're just so bad against, like, people like to submit it for all these things that are just like not. Yeah, they're like things like Maverick and Miracles, like, these are decks people like to play, but they're just so much worse than the 4X Deathrite Shaman Mush decks. Yeah, Legacy, we should just probably go full meme. Yeah, Dead Guy Ale, it's another example of deck that's just like a bad version of 4-color control. Just like get to play all the cards that are better than everything. Yep, yeah, I agree by and large. I took these ones that we have here, so we're gonna slog through these fair decks tonight. But there's only 1 or 2 more fair decks in the queue after tonight, so one of those is Grixis Star, which is at least like a good fair deck. Are we playing for? I don't actually know what the Maverick list looks like offhand. It's got some death rates in it, I think. Yeah, it's on 4. You know what? This deck is bad. I'm gonna let everyone check the concede the entire match on turn 1, game 1, off their bingo squares. Let's play some Maverick. Let's play some Maverick. Yeah, Teferi seems sweet.